definition of insanity isn't doing the same thing over and over expecting different results. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting the same results and staying anyways. The definition of insanity is writing the same words over and over and expecting the story to have a different ending this time. That this time they meant it. That this time the definition of the words they spoke and the way they said them were the same. That this time the definition of insanity isn't staying but is not leaving. The definition of insanity changes every time I think that there might be more to this than simply being crazy in love. The definition of insanity is continuing to stay, and I know that, but this could be the time they mean it. And all the nights spent rewriting stories and redefining words and living in a nightmare of clockwork repetition, waiting for a blow to come that exists in quantum. It might come, it might not. That all the nights spent waiting for a reason not to go might be for something. That there might be a reason not to go. But I know what the definition of insanity is, and it is that love doesn't make sense in any definable way, and that doesn't make it crazy. The definition of insanity is when someone you love hurts you, and you ask what you did, instead of asking why they did it at all. In quantum physics, things do not exist unless they are measured. Trying to reduce the way particles dance to steps and spacing and partners that can only exist when observed. So how do I measure the space between the hits, the touches, the words? As anything but science. It has to be explainable, doesn't it? Something about this has to make sense. Nobody I know understands quantum physics anyway, so maybe we're all just waiting to measure something so it too can exist. I try to measure all the ways they prove that they love me because they keep saying it, and there has to be a way to measure if it's true. So I catalog the kisses that only exist between the opened palm, this isn't hitting you, this is telling you the truth. It's the gifts that only exist between the open palm, this isn't groping you, this is telling you the truth. The sweet words that only exist in between the open mouth, this isn't insulting you, this is telling you the truth. And I act as though this proves the existence of that which cannot be defined or observed or witnessed. In quantum physics, what we observe is the way particles interact on a fundamental level. I think that at a fundamental level, they can't help acting like this, and somewhere on a fundamental level, I have convinced myself that I deserve this. In quantum physics, we observe how very atoms interact with each other and how they crash. What do people see when they watch us dance around each other like wayward atoms, like electrons hoping that this time the bond will stick? At a fundamental level, they cannot help but pull me in, and I cannot help being attracted to them, and if we are observed long enough, something scientifically interesting will happen, because it's always interesting to observe atoms splitting, isn't it? What is the minimum amount of any physical entity that needs to be involved to make this what it is? How much will it take for a single quantum of light to get through and show me how to finally split from your nucleus and become my own observable entity? Some people will say they have to see it to believe it. That's all quantum physics is, isn't it? And I am still waiting to see them change, to believe it. The definition of quantum physics and the definition of insanity are closer than you'd think. In quantum physics, objects don't exist unless they are measured, and it seems to me like no one has ever stopped to think about how insane of a concept that really is. The definition of insanity changes depending on who is observing it, and I am observing it, and it seems like the definition of insanity is that on a fundamental level some things are just broken, and it doesn't matter how you observe them, they will remain broken every single time. If we were atoms, we would be the building blocks of an atomic bomb, because with every rotation of our particles, every time we get close to forming something good,
we get closer to blowing up, and it is my fault every single time, no matter what actually happens, because it doesn't matter what actually happens. It matters how it was observed, and I don't remember asking physics to be involved here, and I don't remember going insane, but I have come to observe that the definition of insanity is that I didn't leave, no matter how bad it became, because to me it wasn't worth the energy of the fission or the risk of nuclear explosion, and I remember telling myself that they really mean it this time, when I have come to observe that the definition of insanity is that I know they didn't mean it, and I still stayed anyways. I no longer care about going nuclear or the fallout or the lingering toxicity that will never really leave me, because they didn't mean it this time, or that time, or any of the times they promised me they'd change. In quantum physics, an object doesn't exist unless it can be observed, and I never once observed that they could change. Every time I thought I did, that had to be insanity at play. Waiting for the same story to have a different ending, or for words to make sense, or for anything about what they did to me to make sense. Because in the absence of any observable humanity, the only thing that made sense is that I deserved it. I asked for it. If I didn't want it, why didn't I leave? I didn't leave because I knew the mess that splitting an atom can make. I no longer care about what other people might observe of the mess I was left with, of the scars left by the fission, the potential of being considered insane. If I am an explosion, I will burn brighter and hotter and stronger than anything you have ever observed before. And if I am insane, I will rave until there is nothing left inside me except the rage that they tried to suppress. They promised me they'd change. And I remember thinking, this time they really mean it. This is the definition of insanity, a quantum leap of mental gymnastics. When I came to my senses, I realized how long I'd spent pretending I could see the unobservable, acting like this time, this time, this time.